Hi Stampers, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations here with another class, and I am back live. I am back from backstage, which was Stampin' Up's leadership conference. It was a blast. I can't wait to tell you about it. But today we're going to be working on this magnetic slider card. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but there's a magnet on the back of our little dude here, and then there's a magnet inside the card, and when they connect to one another he moves. So I can't wait to show you how that works. If that sounds like a little over the top but you still think the piggy's cute, we have another version where he's just kind of up there on dimensionals. So we're going to do both, so no matter what your comfort level is or how advanced you feel, you'll be able to make this adorable card. So let me flip you down to my desk and we'll get started. How about that? I know some of you are looking at these going, but Lisa, I've seen that stamp set. It is in our catalog. It's here on page 55 of our annual catalog. There's some adorable cards they've made with it, but there's no dies, right? Well, woohoo, there are. For a limited time during September, there's some dies that are going to coordinate with 6 different stamp sets that previously did not have dies, and this is just one of them. So my little guy here is cut out using those dies. So for our fancier card, we're going to get started with a standard card base. We have 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. I have our next layer at 4 inches by 5 1/4. Let's go ahead and pop that one on there. And then we have a third layer, and this is what's going to pop up on dimensionals. That's going to house the magnet back here. So this one is 3 3/4 by 5. Couldn't hear. Well, I'm glad you can hear now. The little piece I cut the piggy out of, because I've already got him started, and his little banner that's going to go behind there, this piece was 2.5 by 4 1/4. And then I have our inside layer is another 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go inside. So for our little piggy, we're going to color him up with the Stampin' Blends. For the pig, I love to use our Petal Pink. And I'm going to try to do this quickly. Like I said, I tried to get him kind of started so you wouldn't have to waste too much time watching me color. And then I'll show you how we pull him together and make him slide. We're also going to use our blending brushes on the back. If you don't have the blending brushes yet, oh my gosh, you don't know what you're missing. They are so fun. I have used the sponge daubers and our sponges, for years and loved them, but I didn't realize how much more I was going to love the blending brushes. And I had thought, that was something you could only do with alcohol inks, because, you always see those on YouTube, but we can do them with our standard Stampin' Up inks, which makes it even better, right? We get the best of both worlds. We get the ability to do our blending, but we also get our color coordination, which is my favorite part of Stampin' Up, in that my Stampin' Blends, my ink, my paper, everything that is Tahitian Tide, all color coordinates. Oh, good. I'm so glad you got the card and you love it. Yes, they are better in person. But that's just one of the things about Stampin' Up. The quality is just, it can't be beat. They give us awesome stuff to work with. And then I teach you how to use it and make beautiful cards. Okay, almost done with our little piggy here. Just coloring up his little scooter. Okay, now for the background, like I said, we're going to use our blending brushes. So let me bring those in first. Let's protect our work surface here with another scrap paper. And here's our blending brushes. They do come in sets of 3. I don't have one for every color. I have one for kind of like every color family. I have one for our browns, one for the blues, one for the greens. And I kind of go from there. They are washable. I mean, they stain a little bit, but this one was really dark blue. And then I ran it under some water. And because they are water-based inks, that does wash right out. So I'm going to start kind of off the card. Like I said, I don't want this harshness to show up on our actual card. I want it to be nice and subtle. It is a bright color, so it's going to be brighter than our balmy blue. But see how it's still nice and soft and subtle? I love that about the blending brushes. So I did that on the top. I'm going to do some crumb cake on the bottom. So again, I tapped a little bit off and I'm coming on swirling. Might need a little more on that side. So let's start from that side and work this way this time. So I've kind of evened it out. And there we go. See how simple that was? And we got such a great background. And then this little guy is going to fit right in there. And I want him to slide back and forth, and I'm going to be able to pull on his little tag. So I am going to glue the 2 of those together, but let's do our stamping first in case we need to flip it. I'm going to bring in the Hope It's the Best. There's lots of great little sentiments in this stamp set. I am pushing it a little that direction because, let's do the other card too. I want to be able to glue it underneath his scooter, and I don't want that to interfere. And then on this one, I need to add a little more. It needed a little bit of stiffness behind here, and I need to make him go over further this time. Because when I pulled it, it worked great. When I pushed it, it was a little bit flimsy where it's thin there, but adding the acetate behind there strengthens that up. And this is, you know, it can be window sheet or it can be the piece that comes with our stamps. The stamps come on a piece of acetate with a thinner piece on top. Now, I always save both of them. I pop them off and I stick the stamps. There's a clear set. I put the actual stamps inside the case because there's that printed on the cover. But the pieces that come with it, the hard piece underneath is great for my card in a box with the little pieces that pop up. And then stuff like this where we need to strengthen something. And then the thin part is great for the front of shaker cards. So don't throw that stuff away. We can use that and we can save ourselves some money by not having to buy actual, you know, pieces for that. We can use the stuff we already have. Bonus, right? Okay. So I'm going to put a few glue dots on here. And then we're going to just set that on there. Now let me grab that acetate. Okay, so see, this was what the stamps came on. This is the bottom piece. Ah, yes, Prize Patrol. If you are within the United States, please remember to enter hashtag Prize Patrol because you would get the chance to be entered into the drawing and win today's card. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to cut off, a 1/4 inch. It doesn't need to be big. I just want it for some stability. And then I'm going to put this on the back and kind of run it through. Okay, now it's going to show a little bit right here, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. If I needed to, we could, snip it off and make it shorter, but it looks like it's just going to fit. So all I need is a few glue dots. And I always take whatever I need to put a glue dot on. I take the paper, the acetate, whatever it is, to the glue dot and use it to lift it off. And then I have the small piece of ribbon just kind of tied around there loosely because if I tend to knock it onto the floor or something, I don't want it to unravel. So having that little piece of ribbon on there makes it easy to just store it and not have things go everywhere. So there we go. Giving him some stability. And now we know he's going to go on here. And I know I want him to stop kind of there. And I want it to come back here and maybe stop about there. I want to kind of pick how far I want my pig to slide back and forth because that's going to determine where I'm going to put the little well on the back that's going to hold our magnet. Now for this, I'm going to use our foam strips. Another thing that is awesome, if you don't have these, you can certainly use the sides of your regular dimensionals. Don't ever throw away this outside part because you can use that. This just because it's the frame and they're not cut into dimensionals doesn't mean you can't use them. And they make great edges. But whatever you do, if you pick one, stick with it because I don't know why, but the thickness between the foam strips and the dimensionals, they're not exactly the same, which seems kind of silly to me, but they aren't. So pick one or the other. Okay, somebody's over on Facebook telling me, it says Facebook user where you typed in Prize Patrol. I'm not sure who that is, but you need to give StreamYard permission for them to allow me to see your name. It's not necessary on YouTube. That's why I do suggest people watch over there. Okay, then I have my tiny, tiny magnets, and I need one of them to fit back here. Now, these are available on Etsy, or not Etsy, on Amazon, and I have them on my Kitco site, which is on my menu on my blog. It says products I recommend, and it will take you to my Kitco site, which has all of my little things for the, my ruler, my magnets, just all the different things I use that are not sold by Stampin' Up. I was putting them individually on each blog post, which I would love to continue doing if Amazon would quit moving the links on me. So this is our magnet inside. I'm going to take my other magnet and I'm going to flip it over and make it stick. Okay. Now it only can go one way. You see when I try to put it on upside down, it doesn't like it. It goes flying and flips itself back over. So I let it decide where it wants to hit. And then I'm going to adhere it to the pig. Okay, so I'm going to take another glue dot. I'll put it on the top. And then I'm going to find a big spot behind, the wheel. And I know, like I said, I want it to come about that far. So yeah, that's going to be about perfect. I'll block it off right there. So I'm just going to come in with more of these foam strips and just close that off there. Now, when we go the other way, let's see right about there. Okay, so it's going to be a little shorter, so I'm going to stick it inside the well. And this is just going to be our stoppers on either side. So it's showing how far they can travel. I'm going to take some more of our adhesive strip so that I can have it raised all the way around evenly. Just grabbing some more out of the new pack. And I'm probably using too much, but better safe than sorry. And now we just need to adhere it to the front of the card. Oh, and I didn't stamp our "we" in the middle. You might want to do that before adding the strips to the back, because now it's not going to lay flat. So if you wanted to include the "we," stamped directly on there, you can do that. Another thing I could do is I could use a little label of some sort and put it up there. Or you can leave it off, or you can put, some kind of embellishment up at the top. The butterflies might be really cool. Oh, and butterflies. Speaking of those, they are on sale. Stampin' Up! Announced something this morning that we can announce to everybody, that we have something called weekly deals. Throughout the month of September, they're going to have certain things that are going to be on sale. Let's see if I can move this guy over. Let's see. No, I can't do that. Eek. Come on. Let me see it bigger. There we go. Okay. So the brushed brass butterflies that would be adorable in the sky with our pig, they're on sale for $8, normally $10. They've also got this Splendid Day, this foil paper. If you haven't seen this yet, it is gorgeous. Just several things that they have picked out that are currently on sale just for this week. Now, September 8th, they're going to have new stuff that's going to be on sale. But this week, these are the things we have to choose from. This is a newsletter you're looking at that I'm getting ready to send out to all of my customers. So hopefully you are on my newsletter list and you will be getting this, because it will have links direct to my store so that you can buy those through my store just by clicking on the link. So back to our card. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backing. So as of today, you can get not only these perfect partner dies, and there's 6 different sets. I'll show you the flyer on that. But you can also get those September deals, or at least this week's version of them. Each week in September, from the 1st to the 28th, they're going to be different deals. But the butterflies are awesome because they're nice and flat, And I love things that are flat because they don't cost me extra postage when I'm mailing them in the mail. Lots of backings. And there we go. There's our little sliding piggy. And he just pushes back and forth on the magnet. And see how having that strength in here allows me to push it both ways. When I had the other one, it kind of crinkled right here. See, there's kind of a little fold. So I'm going to have to go back and add a little more to that so that it's not going to, you see, it's not going to fold like that. Having that piece of acetate in the back really makes a difference. So you could have them with the we or without. And then I've got my inside of the card where I just kind of colored up the pig and his little cake. And I just made it match the rest of the card. I used the same colors, and I did the same with the blending on the top and bottom. I did a little bit of the Tahitian tide across the top. I kept it pretty light. And then the crumb cake along the bottom. And then on the inside, I stamped with Parakeet Party, which is the green. This is one of our new in colors as well. This one, the Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, and Sweet Sorbet were all released this year. And our in colors are around just for 2 years. So if you like them, if these are really pretty colors to you, you might want to go ahead and grab them. And when you buy ink pads, I always recommend that you get the refill, because these will last for a very, very, very long time, especially when you have the refill, because you can not only refill the stamp pad, but also our markers, and you can use this as watercolor to paint with our aqua painters. Or I guess now they're water painters. We got some new ones. Same effect, slightly different. I'm using seal to put it on the inside, and you'll notice I'm always kind of giving it a little bit of a flick because I want to make sure it breaks off up here. Some people that have issues with the thing unraveling on them, they're just not using it right. So if you have any issues with that, please contact me, and we will get that worked out. If it is indeed, defective, Stampin' Up! Will replace it, but we want to make sure it's not a user error before we go to them and complain. Because when we complain and get stuff replaced for no reason, prices can go up, and we don't want that at all. So let's make sure we're using them properly. So there is card number 1 with our little magnetic guy moving back and forth on his little scooter. Again, this is This Little Piggy and the new Playful Piggy dies. Now look how cute, the little wagon, and it's got some wheels that go on it. It's got grass, it's got a little party hat, leaves, flowers, bows, banners, just, it's over the top. It is so cute. And that's not the only one. Like I said, there's 6. So there was the apples that we worked with last week. That was this one here is a die, as well as this and these. How cute is that? And then on our live, we actually used sponge daubers and put a little pink in the middle. Oh, over the top. It was so cute. So you have to check out that live for that. It was so cute. But there's the fresh cut stems, apple blossoms, the piggy we're working with today, the waterfall dies, the Yeti dies, and then also this trimming the tree. And this is what I'm working with next week. So next week, we'll use this set. And see, these have little leaves that pop up on them, makes them kind of 3D. They're very cool. And we're going to make this card. So that's going to be Monday's card. And see how it's kind of flattened because I, closed the card, but these little things can lift up. And this is just kind of an accordion fold. Again, very simple. I'll show you how to do that on Monday. But we have one more card for today. We're going to do our simpler version of our little piggy. So let's bring back in our pieces. So again, I'm just going to stick the little flag to the back of the scooter. Finish coloring him in. He's almost done. These are our Stampin' Blends markers. They are alcohol-based. They blend really well. They're easy to use because they are just the two colors. You have a light and a dark. Apologize for the puppies. And again, they have the thick and the thin end, just like our Stampin' Write markers. And the blends, because they're an alcohol-based ink, you can color rhinestones with them. You can color our ribbons, anything that is, maybe white or clear. I've been able to take my Stampin' blends to them and all of a sudden take my white ribbon, like that white crinkle ribbon. I can make that any color that I have blends for. Super fun. I buy a lot of ribbon, but I don't always go through it all before, it retires. I mean, I keep a lot of it, but if I can buy white and then I can color it with the Stampin' blends, oh my gosh, the possibilities are just all of a sudden endless because there's so many more things I can do with it and so many more things it'll go with. And then our clear rhinestones or our basic pearls, all of a sudden you have multicolors. How fun, right? And I've been asked, how long do they last? That's hard to say. These are much better than the other ones we had. We had something else, Blendabilities, for a while, and they had issues with the cap. I don't know, it didn't seal all the way. So these ones are much stiffer. You can hear them like click. So they've got a tighter fit and they don't dry out as easily. And really, there's very few that I've had to replace. And if you've watched me, I use them on almost everything. It's kind of crazy. They are just so fun to use and make me look so artistic, which clearly I'm not. I am crafty. I am not artistic. And they make me look artistic. So, I just love that about them. And I can teach you how to do that as well. And they last a long time. Like I said, there's very few I have replaced, and I use them a lot. I think more often I'm replacing them because I have people in class who are just learning, and they're a little bit harsh with the brush tip end, and I end up replacing it more for that. So do be careful with the ends. Oops. I went ahead and took all the stickies off, and we haven't done our blending. Oh, and we want to stamp our we this time because you want to see how I did that, right? So when you're doing this on the magnetic slider card, make sure that you do it before you put all the foam strips on the back. Do as I say, not as I do. I get a little overexcited when I'm live and I have all these things I want to tell you and I get distracted. So we want the crumb cake on the bottom. A little on the inside as well. And the Tahitian Tide. Don't stick, don't stick. See, I went a little too quickly. This kind of thing is what happens when I'm a little too quick to come off of my scrap paper. Okay. Oh, and our good we need to remember that. Where's my green? Parakeet Party, and I have Tahitian Tide. And my little stamp. This is in our pig set. Sorry, I'm reaching over to clean that off. I'm going to try this time green for the It's Your Birthday up here. Can't decide which I like better. I thought maybe the green would pop a little more because the sky is blue. But maybe that could even go on a little label or on the inside. I mean, after all, it is on his little flag. Get that out of the way before I stick my elbow in it. Okay, so this one just has the one layer. This layer is 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going on to our standard card base. The 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And that's just a piece of 8.5 by 11, cut in half, scored in half. And that got me this card base. It can also, of course, go this way and open portrait mode. We're today using it in landscape. The same thing happens if you do it the other way. If you cut it at the 4 1/4 and you score at the 5.5, then they go this direction. So the fold is just on a different side. Again, can be portrait or landscape, just the other direction. Okay, so here's our little dude. Guess we could give it a little bit of a thing like he's gotten it dirty. And then he just goes straight down on the dimensionals. Now he doesn't move, but he's still super cute, right? And then, of course, we've got the inside. We can do the same thing again. I'll color that little piggy. And we'll stamp our inside sentiment. I love stamp sets that come with an inside and an outside sentiment. So helpful. Because I always do the insides of my cards. Do you guys do the inside? I see so many people that only do the outside. And I mean, you wouldn't go to the store and buy a card from, I won't say who, that didn't have the inside, at least with a little something, right? Even if it's just a little strip of cardstock, or like this was just the little apple, just a little something, to me just makes it look so much more finished. Okay, so let's see. Got our piggy here. This one slides, this one doesn't. This one's double layers, this one's single layers. What do you think? What's your favorite? Would you do it with the single layer or with the double layer and our little slider? Oh, yes, the envelope too. Yes, you can stamp the envelope, you can line the inside of it, or you can decorate the outside flap with designer series paper as well. It's just like it's the whole package. And that's part of why I love stamping, because when you send off a card like that in the mail, I mean, people on the other side, they're just like impressed. They love it. It's a way of giving a little bit of yourself, which is what I really love. I mean, I get the joy of creating the card and playing with the stamps, ink, and paper. It like really helps with my depression. I know we're not supposed to say that medically, but for me it does. It really helps with my depression. And it also helps when it goes to the other end and people call me up and go, "Oh my gosh, your card was so cute. I love it. How'd you do that?" And it's just, that's part of it. That's why I love what I do. Okay, so I did tell you already that this dies are only on sale for the limited time. They're only going to be here for September, and I'm guessing while supplies last. So if you have any of these stamp sets and you want the coordinating dies, now's the time to pop over onto my blog and my website and go get those. If you do not have the stamps already, you can buy them as a bundle with the 10% off. So double plus there. And then next month is going to be World Card Making Day. Have you ever heard of that? World Card Making Day is something that's all around the world, and Stampin' Up! Is going to be doing a special live kind of thing online. I'm going to be doing a few things myself, but Stampin' Up! Has a deal going on, and they're going to be crafting with these 3 stamp sets: the Cottage Rose, Cottage Wreaths, and this new Welcome Home. Now, this again is not going to look familiar to you because it was not in any of our catalogs so far. This is something that's coming in the January to June mini catalog, but they're releasing it early so we can play with it on World Card Making Day. And it's available to purchase now. So while you're over there checking out the weekly deals and the perfect partners and all the exciting stuff we already have for you over there, check out that stamp set as well. Again, like I said, I think I showed you that multiple times. This is Monday's card, and we're ready to spin for Prize Patrol, right? Have you typed in hashtag Prize Patrol in the comments? That's what gets you entered into the drawing, and the drawing is for today's card. I will be sending it in the mail to you. Probably the slider one, because I'm sure that's probably one you want to see up close, but you have your pick if you want either one. I have 10 entries so far, so you have a really good chance of winning. Let me share that screen. There we go. So we are ready to spin. And there we go. Gloria is our winner. Congratulations, Gloria. Don't forget to go over to the claim form and claim your prize, because I'm going to need your mailing address in order to send that to you. You can easily get to the claim form by going to my blog, queenbeecreations.net, and then do /prize patrol. And that's going to pop up with the fill in the blank form that gives me your address so I know where to send it to. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you being here and playing with me. I have so much fun creating cards with you guys. I've had lots and lots of people ask me for written directions. You can find those in the form of tutorials on my blog. I'm adding to them pretty consistently. There's, I think, 18 or 20 up there now. I've got 10 kind of in the works that are not quite finished. I'm putting some finishing touches on them so that they are easy to follow. I've got someone kind of testing them out for me, and they will be up there soon. And I've already made 6 cards for the trimming the tree that I'm doing next week. So my goal is that I would have the written directions ready for you in the form of a tutorial that you can purchase on my blog here. Now, of course, I'm going to be doing the live. It'll have all the dimensionals, but if you want it in writing, that is an option. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you right back here on Monday for another Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Thanks. Bye.